I think at this point in time, the way we're seeing these rotations in the market, we're continuing to see a movement toward the consumer cyclical sector. We're continuing to see a rotation that's happening towards some of the energy, some of the basic material type names for the reflationary trade, and then also what you're seeing happening with the financials. But to your point, Brian, at the big picture side of the market, I would just say that this is a market that still is performing very well, making new highs. You're continuing to see good momentum at this point in time. And while there's a lot of fear out there, and certainly a lot of with the AAII numbers at the 5% all-time highs in here, you're really baking in a lot of good news at this point in time. So earnings numbers coming out in the next couple of weeks are going to be extremely important to where this market is going to be going from here. We still got a 42.25, about 2% and change upside. There's maybe a little bit more to go after that, but a lot of good news to me is baked in, Brian.
Already baked in. All right, so maybe tapering off just a bit. By the way, Craig, feel free to use that R&R market thing. I just want full credit in your next, newsletter and research to clients. Let's talk about earnings. Yesterday, Goldman Sachs proved one thing. No matter what happens, Goldman Sachs usually wins. Down, up, middle, they tend to come out ahead. The retail investor jumping back in this market in a big way with all the stimulus checks and everything else. Do you think Schwab will be a big winner?
Brian, I absolutely do think that Schwab is going to be a big winner. When you look at the chart certainly looks very constructive. And think about it from a macro backdrop. You got a lot of money market funds, and they're going to earn nice returns on some of those money market funds as rates start to come back and start to move higher. I'd also just note that more retail trading happening certainly benefits individuals like Schwab too. So that's one that we do have in our model, and it's one that we do like, and we would continue to keep buying.
Is that kind of a similar story with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange that, it doesn't matter sort of what you're buying or selling, you're going to use some either Robinhood or Schwab, but you also are probably going to use an exchange like the CME?
Absolutely. When you go back and you just look at what's happening with a lot of commodities at this point in time, not only lumber prices, copper prices, you're seeing more trading happening. A lot of commodities are doing very, very well. I think this is, again, another one that we want to be buying, and it's going to certainly benefit from our perspective from a pickup in overall economy and activity, and certainly with some of the shortages that you're seeing for raw materials at this point in time and corporations really looking to source those. I think the CME can really benefit from a pickup in volume. Absolutely.
All right, don't want to steal the thunder from our upcoming guest, Stacey Widlitz, retail guru that she is, but I kind of know what she's going to say. And she's going to talk about a store based in Minneapolis with a red and white logo that looks a lot like a Target, your hometown store. She likes it fundamentally. You like it technically.
Stars and moon align, Brian, on that one, because you look at the fundamentals, it made a lot of positive changes. I'll leave those to her. I'll take the technicals. The trend is still up. You're nicely above your 50 and 200-day moving average. It looks like this is a stock that on any sort of little shorter-term pullbacks we should be buying, because they're definitely capitalizing on not only the internet trends that have done well, but any sort of reopening trends and physical store presence. They're really doing extremely well from what we're seeing.
And very, very quickly here, I know you and your son have crypto. You told me a couple years ago that you were heating your home with Bitcoin mining. God, hopefully you paid off your home at this point with all the gains you must have made. But you like Litecoin.
Absolutely, Brian. And again, the trends are emerging in this entire crypto space in light speed at this point in time. And if you look at some of these charts out here, not only Litecoin, but Ethereum and Algorand and a bunch of these other coins out there, they are literally breaking out of huge multi-year bases. And I think, Coinbase coming public yesterday, I don't want to make the same mistake that I did years ago, which is I didn't buy Google when it first came. I didn't buy Tesla when it first came. And I can go through a handful of others. I think this is one of these companies that's really changing something out there. And while it seems expensive and crazy right now, I think it's something you want to buy and just sort of tuck away. And that's what my son and I have done. And Litecoin is certainly one of the ones that hasn't even gotten back to new highs yet, while Bitcoin has exploded to the upside.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.